Shalom Uvracha. Tonight is Yud Tet Kislev, and it should be a Shana Tova b'Darkei HaChasidut, Belimud HaChasidut, Belimud HaChasidut, B'Darkei HaChasidut, and we should all merit the Geula Amitit v'Shlema speedily. The Rabbi Rayatz gave over Farbrengen in 1949, Yud Tet Kislev, Yud Tet Kislev, 1949, a phenomenal Farbrengen. And the Rabbi Rayatz started with talking about the innermost Jewish spark, the nitzotz hapnimi of a Jew. And the Rabbi Rayatz emphasized that there's two types of avodat Hashem. Okay, there's the avodah. It's always the first thing is to do avodah, service. Everything should be attained only by means of avodah, of toil, of labor. And nothing happens without a reason. Let's explain this. There's avodah, divine service through meditation, hitbonenut, meditation. And there's avodah, the divine service, prayer, of people who are not sophisticated, simple Jews. An avodah which is called or yashar, direct light, and an avodah of or chozer, reflected light. Okay, so one is from above to below, milemala lemata, and the latter is from below to above, milemala lemata. There's two types of avodah, and there's two approaches to avodah. So we said there's two approaches here, which is teshuvah and maasim tovim, teshuvah and good deeds, repentance and good deeds. Now, the Rabbi Rayatz talks here, in this Farbrengen, he spoke, that about the four blank white lines in the Sefer Torah, where there's no parchment, that's what that signifies is transcendent, what transcends the intellect, moral intellect, and the essence. And then the Rabbi Rayatz said, a Jew is a Sefer Torah. A Jew is a Torah scroll. And the ultimate simplicity, the pshitut, atzmit of a Jew, is the ultimate simplicity of God's essence, so to speak, which is within him, which finds expression in the Jew's bittul, self-abnegation, self-effacement before God. So a simple Jew works at his avodat Hashem. He doesn't know why, he doesn't think why, he works at it, he does avodah. This is called pshitut ha'atzmi, the ultimate simplicity of God's essence, because every Jew has God's essence within. The essential nucleus of a Jew is innermost Jewish spark. And then the Rabbi Rayatz spoke of the lofty worth of simple Jews, where the simple essence of divinity is to be found in the neshama. And then the concept of Mesiut Nefesh with one's body. So when a Jew has Mesiut Nefesh, he can reveal that Pshitut HaAtzmut, the simple essence of divinity. And then he goes on to explain that avodat Hashem, prayer, needs to be done with avodah, with toil, with profundity, we can say. And it shouldn't be done hastily. And he emphasizes that when you learn the Alter Rebbe's teachings, Torah Or and Likutei Torah, sometimes people can think that it's just philosophical and it's not avodadik. It doesn't pertain to our divine service. The answer is no, it does. And he emphasizes that by elder Hasidim, the focus of their avodah, of the divine service, was prayer. Even unscholarly Jews who weren't scholarly, ordinary Jews would pray with intention, with proper intention. And that's what the Alter Rebbe wanted, that we should all pray with proper kavanah, proper intent, with profundity, with preparation beforehand, going to the mikveh, immersing in the mikveh, prayer, so that the prayer will be infused with meaning. And again, he talks about it, davening. There's no excuse. If the prayer is done properly, if one prays well in the morning, everything else will go well. He talks about also Farbrengen, how a Farbrengen should be done. In those days, the Farbrengen would, the Mashpia, the rabbi, would urge his listeners to demand more of themselves, be more contrite. And everyone became humbled. No stinging people. He says the words spoken at a Farbrengen should be brief, tough, and stinging. But the sting, the offense, should be to oneself. One should speak of one's own things that need to be improved. Upgrading one's sensitivity. A person should upgrade the sensitivity. People used to claim that the Farbrengens addressed by the Rebbeim didn't give rise to avoida because my morim were academic, haskala-oriented. But the haskala, the intellectual intellect of Chassidus, another intellectual maimorim, discourses of Chassidut, they purify the vessel, they refine the person's receptivity, make him receptive to the Chassidus, to becoming humble, and more than that. Where is the avoid of davening? Then he talks about in addition to his own suffering, he says after all his talking, doesn't understand why it doesn't lead people to daven with kavanah, with avoda, service, toil, with exertion, with profundity. And then he talks about study. Does the study refine the person? The purpose of studying Chasidut, we talk about the Alter Rebbe, is that the study should refine the person, should make him humble with good attributes, character attributes. If that doesn't happen, then something is really missing. He says the precondition is having humility from heart to mind to action. One line of Tanya, even half a line, as long as it finds its way to the heart, connected to the heart, and the heart brings it up to the head, and that actually comes into practical action. Everyone should learn how to utilize his own positive qualities, advantageous faculties. So a person should know his shortcomings, but he should also know his positive qualities. And the Hasidus, you can make the concepts, bring them to life. You learn an idea in Hasidus, you can bring it into life. And he also talks about reflecting upon a time of Yechidus, a person had Yechidus with the Rebbe, a personal audience with the Rebbe, reflecting upon that. They say that when you write, you write to ask for a bracha, reflect upon that. Chassidim have to be strong so they can translate a noble resolve into palpable action. He says an evil attribute has to be completely cut off. You should have nothing more to do with it. And a positive attribute should be internalized, bepnimius, more and more deeply, more and more truthfully. And again, he talks about the avoid of davening, of prayer. Every father deserves nachat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu deserves nachat. May God grant that everything be blessed with success materially and spiritually. And the point that the Rabbi Rayatz here emphasizes to us is the avoid of prayer. So again, a person who wants to earn a proper livelihood, to pray well, with proper achana. Learn Chasidus before davening. Immerse in the mikveh and the ritual bath, if you can. And come to davening and pray with kavanah. You can use an English siddur. Today there's a siddur with Hasidic explanations. And that will make your whole day, everything you do, completely different. And you'll see God's blessings in everything you do. Thank you very much.